Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Peter Palmieri, and this is Making Comics and Art, episode 327. Amazing! How y'all doing today? So, when last we left, working on the few pages I got for issue 3 of a 4-issue miniseries of Copistar. And these are the first 2 pages. Well, it goes this way. Page 1, page 2. Then I have a splash, which is page 3. Then skip a page, and this is page 5. because that's what Scott needed penciled out. So that's what I'm making. So yeah, back to it today. Saturday, November 16th. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. We'll rule out some stuff. Been watching Shrinking. You ever hear of Shrinking? It's a good show. Jason Segel, Han Solo. Lots of actors. You're not gonna work for me now? I should have checked earlier. That's okay. One of these gotta work. Maybe. Oh man, I really gotta. I'm so used to my old technical pens. They seem to have always worked. All right, here we go. Yeah, my old technical pens. Always worked. But so it goes. There he is again, Landon. Hey, man. Another day, back to work, doing my thing. Working on Copper Star. What are you working on today? Getting any work done? Let's see. How's life treating you? Oh, not bad. Could always be better, but not bad. That's a curve. Let's see. Not this one. Working on something. Working on a coloring book. Cool. A few people who've done coloring books. Supposedly they do pretty good. Pretty good. Learns from mom. Something she's wanted to do for years. It's cool, man. I think there's always a need for coloring books. Oh, so one of the things I've done recently is I was on Billy Tucci's channel with the coming up of the Deadly Trio, which is Jimmy, my brother Jimmy, Amanda, Connor, his wife, Billy Tucci, and Brian Polito. And it was on Billy Tucci's YouTube channel, talking about the upcoming campaign, essentially going over, I think it might be 8 covers. I could be wrong. Lots of different covers. One that Amanda penciled, inked, and colored. And much like, my brother's coloring now, and he's taught her a few things, so now she's coloring. So she did a cover. He said 99% of it was Amanda. That looked really good. I can't wait to get into coloring myself. Which I'll be doing on retro, and maybe upcoming future inking gigs. Maybe I'll color for other people too. Because really, when it comes down to it, main reason I want to color is because nobody colors the way I want things done. So if you can't get somebody to do it, you got to do it yourself. So I don't think I streamed on a Saturday in a while, in a long while. Yeah, one of the things about being an inker, I worked for Marvel, DC, Valiant, Image, and so many independent publishers, self-publishers. Yeah, I'm really, really picky about how things are colored. I have my own criteria of how I want things to look. And well, a lot of it was amazingly colored. And it wasn't like I had color training throughout my schooling or even career. But just like picking up inking and now I'm invested in, I'm going to be drawing a lot more. Coloring is the next and final stage, because pretty much like my brother said in the show that he was on, colors can make something great or ruin it. And it's so very true. So if somebody's going to ruin it, it's going to be me. I've colored some stuff throughout the years, but mostly small stuff. No, technically, I don't think I did anything coloring-wise professionally. I did a bunch of sketch cards. And just drawings, little watercolor, little acrylic. And they say people on the internet a day. It's good to learn all skills. It's something I've been wanting to dabble a lot more with. Somebody who's doing amazing coloring and work in general is Dan Pinoja. Ink from Marvel back in the 90s. Marvel. I think he probably did some DC work and whatnot. He's penciling, coloring his own work, and he is just nobody compares to him currently. He's doing amazing work. Should I? But anyway, it dawned on me. Hey, Tank, what's up, dude? Yes, I'm back to streaming. I'm gonna try to do it as regularly as I can, usually at random hours, because that's my schedule. So yeah, the Deadly Trio is an idea. I think he was saying that Jimmy was hanging out with Billy and sort of came up with the idea, and they took it to Brian, and he was like, "Cool, yeah, let's do it." And those guys, those three guys make it happen. Amanda jumped aboard, and the rest is history. So that goes live Wednesday night, evening. But the funny thing is, I remembered back in 2012, I came up with an idea, triple treat. I had a character at the time, which I'm gonna rehash and come back with at some point, called Bright Eyes. My friend Scotty Watson has a character, Talon, and another friend of ours, Carrie Kelly, has a girl, superhero girl, Dinah Girl, which was a webcomic for years, beautifully drawn. And I thought, let's get our three characters together and do a book. It didn't pan out. I too have a chaotic schedule. Yeah, man. Same. I mean, I make my own schedule, but currently I got so many different jobs with so many different people. things can turn on their head. That's the way it goes. You know, typically, if I had my way, I wouldn't be working on a weekend. But I got way too much going on. According to the schedule in my head, I'm behind schedule. So that's the way to go. Oh, yes. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I was thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, triple treat. I got like a logo I had made up for it and everything. You know, maybe we'll get around to that. At least the one shot. When in doubt, the answer is always bigger hammer. Always love to watch your work. Thanks so much, man. Dadland, Educationland, Codeland. I have no time for social media anyone. This is as close as I get these days. Yeah, totally. You know, good to see you here. So, is your dream to see Retro become a feature film, animated cartoon, or do you just want to see it become an ongoing comic series? Well, the last one first. I mean, if anything else comes of it, then all the better. I know there's some people, and I don't rag on them because like making a living always comes first. But like there's people that are dead set, focused on their comic creation becoming a feature film, more a feature film than an animated cartoon. Animation is hard and laborious, even more so than working on a comic. But there's good money to be had if your comic creation becomes a feature film, or even just a streaming show or whatever. But you're always giving it up to the Hollywood gods if it does get picked up. Oh, one of the things I want to check out is a comic book writer, Bo Smith, and now I'm blanking on the name of it. But he's had his character. I think it's with Netflix. Now I'm blanking on the name of the. It's a like cowboy girl, cowgirl demon hunter or something. And there was a special made recently. Like it had a series, but then they made a series, a special. I don't know. I haven't exactly watched it. I watched some of the first episode. Figured I'd get around to it, but haven't yet. But yeah, so there's good money to be had, but they can alter your character greatly. One of the things I want to do, and sort of it has to do with the way I create or want to create my character in his universe. With Retro, I really want to find his voice as I work on the book. So right now I don't even have the first final script for issue 1. That's on purpose. It's like I have dabbled many a time fooling around with, script ideas. But I want to mostly get a lot more done on the book, and then finalize the script. Because there's 100 ways I can go. So yeah, I really wouldn't want a movie being made until I get a good chunk of the story worked out. So maybe when I get 10 or 20 issues done, then they can do a movie of my character, and I could yell at them, saying, "That's not my character." Gotta lay down a foundation before building a house. Absolutely. Comics these days seem to be a battle of the future ex-wafers. Yeah. Have you talked to Jeff recently? He seems to be MIA. Well, he the only thing he's done is post on Facebook and Instagram. Jeff, he said he'll only come back to YouTube if his buddy wants to come on as well. I think Jeff is content doing what he's doing. which is off social media for the most part. Which I can totally understand. I've been on social media constantly. I've been off it for periods of time. We all know it's a lot of work to do social media. I'm sure he'll turn up again. He said he did say he dropped the cowboy comic idea and is now thumbnailing another comic, which isn't the cowboy comic, which isn't is whatchamacallit, his superhero satire. I've technically been on YouTube since 2017, although for years I really wasn't posting. But I've been following tons of artists and the community of YouTube that's comic related, and people come and go, and do it on their own schedule. There's so many people that left. There's so many people that were regular who are now not posting. Like Richard Friend, who I followed him for years and years. He's currently not posting much. Only recently got 2 or 3 posts. But I talked to him, and he's like, I needed a break. So yeah, you know, people have life stuff come up. You know, some people get married and have babies. Some people just, start enjoying a sort of downtime and never come back. All right. Yeah. I do know for me, I was hardcore streaming and doing interviews and just chatting with people in streams, and I was watching a ton of people. But then, it's like my ex passed away in 22, and that changed everything for me. I'm only now getting back into this. And it probably won't be anything crazy like it was. And, maybe when I crowdfund, I'll go crazy again because I'll have purpose. But for the average day, week, month, whatever, I'll just stream once a day, check out some videos. Honestly, I read it when they're not live. I mean, I'd rather check them out when they're live, but a lot of people I follow stream at night, and I'd rather have nights to, spend with my friends. Nights and evenings. I'm only here today because I really want to get this. I'm not doing a whole book for issue 3, which is, this is Copper Star issue 3. It's a 4-issue miniseries. I only got 4 pages, but once I get this, then I'll jump out onto issue 4 when they got the script to that. I'll probably be working on other stuff before that happens. But I got a book I'm going to be penciling and inking called Icebox, which is a cyberpunk story. I'm co-creating, co-writing, penciling and inking. And yeah, so that's going to take up a lot of time. I got a graphic novel that's at least 130 pages. It's going to take over a year. Be right back. Work calls. Cool, man. Take your time. Yeah, YouTube seems to be a lot of work for the amount you get paid. Yeah. It could be very profitable for a lot of people, but, I'm not and probably never will be high-end YouTuber. There's just too much work involved into really doing it right. I saw that Marshall said he was kind of making a comeback, and if that's true, he's a he's high-end YouTuber. When he was doing it, he does it right. I just don't want to put that much work into it because I'm too fussy. Like, if it comes to doing something better, then I really have to go all in. And right now my YouTube paycheck is 0, so occasionally, like I put like my Patreon link down below, and place where you can throw a tip. So occasionally I'll get a tip, but that's usually from another artist that follows my work. Occasionally it's from some stranger. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I love YouTube. It is what it is. And with everything else the way it is, I think it's more important to come back here. Facebook algorithm sucks like really bad lately. It's like things seem to be no reach over there. What else is going on? So Twitter it's going through changes. Seems to be a mass exodus going on over there. I'm keeping mine, but Twitter isn't what it used to be. Everybody seems to be going to Blue Sky. But I haven't really taught myself Blue Sky yet. It's not as easy as Twitter. The feed is different the way it works. But I'm sticking with Twitter mostly because there's a lot of friends that communicate with me over there. Same thing with Facebook. I'll never get rid of those too. I've been on Facebook since essentially the beginning when it went public. Pretty sure I've been on Twitter since early on as well. But both of them are not as easy as what they once were. I guess if you see it as a way to just connect and show people what you're up to, I put a lot of effing work I do in my vids and YouTube. Just buries everything ultimately. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Lafferty has said like why he got into streaming is it was ultra easy compared to what he used to do. Now, mind you, I think Jeff doing like the interviews he would do that he uploaded, not streamed. I thought those interviews were amazing. I thought he's an incredible interviewer. Always had compelling questions for his guests and really, really in depth with whoever he was talking with. I'm laughing at the art. Anyway. So yeah, I know he put a ton of work into doing the interviews and editing the interview and then uploading, promoting, and yeah, it's like he never really probably earned what he should have with all the work he put into those. So he switched to just turning on the camera and streaming while he worked and chit chatting, which is what I'm doing. Which is, it's a thing I've done for years, even before COVID and everybody else jumped on board at that point. But, even before the Artcasters, I had my own show, Studio Synergy, where I invite a bunch of people and chat about comics and the industry and art and everything. And those were really, really great times. But, it's like back then, Jesus Christ, it was G Plus, where we streamed from. It was, oh man, it was so confusing. I actually had to teach people how to stream back when, because it was so confusing and there wasn't things like StreamYard or even YouTube streaming. It was utterly confusing. Heck, there was with G Plus, the way it was set up. I think I accidentally called 150 people at once because I made a mistake. Let's see. I see Bugada and True Soldier. Questions of political fanatics, hard pass. Yeah. There's a lot of artists on Blue Sky. I don't follow or care about politics myself, so I don't notice that stuff. What do you enjoy about streaming? Because it's so easy. It's a way to connect and see friends like you pop up and chit chat. I honestly, I like doing it with other people. But until I find somebody who's always available, I'll probably be streaming alone. Although I'll have random people up for discussions and whatnot. Appreciate the handling and sound effects. Yeah, I love hand drawn sound effects. There's definitely something, Scotty. Gotta run, like, share. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's just, easy to come on and stream and get some work done and chit chat and catch up. I had Allison on not too long ago. She's got a Kickstarter. I got the link down below. It's easy to stream. I do realize I don't have the best setup, but it is what it is, and will be until I can focus on that again. But yeah, it's just important to be a presence somewhere, and I'm on Facebook pretty much posting every day. It may not be the most entertaining stuff for everyone. But like I said, the algorithm on Facebook sucks of late. So it's more annoying than anything, even to post nothing. A lot of people don't see things until days later too, and it's really stupid. There's never been for a long time, never been a lot of people on Twitter that see my posts. But, it's like every little bit helps. If you got something going on, crowdfunder, something for sale. I sold some artwork to a random person on Facebook not too long ago. Even though there's better avenues to sell artwork. Some things I want to try out in the future. Yeah, right now it's like my schedule. I have over a year's worth of work. So, like, mostly not going to have things to shout about. But there's stuff coming up. Landon says, "How's your setup working for you? Looks like your internet is working better." Well, that's only because okay, so previously I was directly connected through Ethernet. Now I am only connected through Wi-Fi because currently I'm not paying for internet at all. I'm using my neighbor's with her permission. Eventually I will get internet of my own back. But I paid way too much for way too long. So maybe next year sometime, I'm not sure. So what makes things better is I got a new computer. The old one, I couldn't update to Windows 11 with it, which isn't saying much, But because I have the new computer, it works a lot better. So I'm happy about that. It was time for a new PC. The old one took forever to even just boot up, and I definitely needed it. I mentioned like I wanted to get a new arm for my camera. I'll probably eventually get a new camera, maybe I'll get like a real microphone. You know, it's like the whole setup at some point, but it's not really a concern. I'm kind of here just to. It's kind of, just a little extra motivation for me to be out in public, for me to get work done. That isn't just me by myself for hours and hours and hours every day. So I like it. Oh, shoot. Shoot. Hold on. He's got a giant black mole. Mistakes happen. Yeah, that's just gonna dry. Okay. That's why there's white out, there's white ink, white paint. You could also just scratch it off. I never used to. I used to be hardcore for most of my career about even making the slightest error. Like if you look at any of my work prior to 2020, anything before 2020 is probably not a mistake on the page. As far as, I dropped some ink on the page, or I screwed something up, so I had to redo it or whatever. Almost never the case. Now it's like, yeah, everything you can correct. So, and that has more to do with me having way too much work. And I just want to get things done. But I'm thinking, I'll get this page done today. I got a commission I got to work on. And then I get the next page. So, it's like my plan for the streams have mostly been, I want to go for an hour. And do it every day or, nearly every day. I was watching this female YouTuber. think she's making her first webcomic. And I guess it's not shocking. Like she's working on it, and like I like her final work, but like it's a messy process getting there. And there's a plane going by. If you don't hear it, it's a plane in my ear. Yeah, it's like it seems like she doesn't care about it being messy along the way because she's penciling it, inking it, coloring it. Everything usually gets done. It's all good. It's just I find that interesting from years of being so fussy, so particular about every single line. So I guess I did make the title for a reason. Like, okay, so let me go over a little of that. So naturally, like when you ink a page, you do it traditionally because that's the way I do it. You don't ink from all the way, like first panel, second panel, third panel, like from top to bottom, from left to right. Because at different points, you're going to smudge the ink. You're laying down fresh ink. It dries fast enough, but not super fast. So, I usually get into spinning the page around. As a way to avoid that. But one of the things is like different inkers have different ways of doing it, but I notice there's some inkers out there that they'll grab a batch of pages and ink figures and ink hair and ink buildings, like specific things, go page after page and ink all the hair on this page and then ink all the hair on the next page and so on and so forth. I prefer to work on one page until it's done and then go to the next. But on Designated, which I finished recently, issue 2, I've been inking that randomly. Once I'm down to 3 projects, then I'll be a little more focused about how I approach things. But all that said, what I like to do is, and it depends, but like, I usually go into a page and map out all the black areas and then fill in all the black areas and get a majority of the black done on a page first. Not always the case, but it's like lately it's just been whatever works, whatever, almost try not to even think about it because it's all technical work. It's all going to get done sooner or later. It doesn't matter what order really. But with getting blacks done first, it feels like a chunk of the page is done. It's true. So anyway, one of the things I tend to do is like I'll map out the figures and I'll go jump around the page. And it might mean like I'm just doing outlines or I'm just doing clothing or I'm doing hair or I'm doing, like cars or whatever. Like more often than not, what I'll do is throw a bunch of lines down here, throw a bunch of lines down here, throw a bunch of lines down here, then go back here and start tightening things up. I see some blacks over here, fill in the blacks over here, I go over here. Like I'm jumping around the page and it's almost like it doesn't even have a pattern to it. As long as I'm making progress, I'm making progress. But I was trying to think of a clever name for what I do. But, there really isn't. It's just, I thought of sweeping, but that doesn't really cover it. Because what I'm doing is sort of, there's times when I'm in a flow, and usually then what I'm doing is more detail focused, where I'll give the detail the attention it needs. There's times when I need to warm up, and maybe I'll be filling in blacks, or maybe I'll be throwing down straight lines or construction lines. There's usually a reason behind what exactly I'm working on and what level I'm at at the moment. Like, if I really think I'm doing my best work at the moment, then I'll go in and play with some details, play with some lighting, play with some, creating some effect. If I just need to coast for a little bit, then I'll fill in blacks like I'm doing now. Or I'll just do anything that doesn't require brain energy. Oh, I meant to realize I meant to turn on some music before. It's not real music. Let's see. Let's try this one. So it's not completely silent. Yeah, so like I thought of that after I streamed the other day, 2 days ago, and I was like, oh, I want to mention that. I don't know if it's helpful to somebody just starting out. But I do know, like, after all these years of just thinking, mostly thinking, like there's lulls in your day. There's days when you're flying high. Like there's hours within a day where you're doing your best work, and there's hours in the day when you just need to make progress on pages. So maybe you'll take a batch of 5 pages and work on building for a couple hours, or maybe all day, like if you're not feeling it. And, it helps to be aware of, like, where you're at. I will say, one of the things I noticed about, I can't hear myself think. I just want background. That's okay. Yeah, it's like I have extra jobs now because I receive pencils as digital files. I print out pages. I, scan them, maybe even touch them up a little bit after I'm done inking. And then I throw those in Dropbox for the people I'm working with. This stuff I never done before. I used to, get a packet, get a FedEx box and mail shit out, or FedEx it out. Back when I was living in New York and when I was working from home in DC, I used to just hop on a train in the late afternoon, head up to Mall or DC, a couple hours before they close, and talk with editors or whoever was there. There'd be a lot of artists that show up. There'd be writers. I met Len Wen and Marv Wolfman in the hallway of DC once. It's like there's a random people, and I'm sure I passed people I didn't even recognize. What is it that got you interested in making comics and art in the first place? Well, I mean, I grew. I drew from a very young age. It might have even been before, before I got into comics. I mean, there was always comic strips in newspapers, and it wasn't, it's like it wasn't a perfect thing where, I saw comics when I was younger, and I was 100% going to be doing this as a job, and that was my plan. It was like I was in and out of reading comics. I always enjoyed them, but I've had other interests in life. So I definitely loved reading them, loved the art. Art is what drew me first and foremost, and still keeps me in comics now. It's the art, but it's also like, comics are storytelling. Comics are, building characters and universes, and so I don't have a clear memory of. Definitely wanted to do comics when I grew up. I don't know if I felt that way when I was younger. I know it probably, I probably did. Um, but I think it came and went. Because I remember, like you're in high school and it's like, what college are you going to? It's like, I don't know. You sort of figuring things out. Yeah, I wound up going to art college, and like I went to high school in Manhattan. I lived in Brooklyn, but I went to high school in Manhattan. And I was high school of art and design. Took cartooning and animation. Um, even though I went to, well, I consider myself self-taught. Because I only really had one great teacher in all the art courses I took, Mr. Ferguson, who years later, when I was working at Aquaman, came up to me at a comic convention, and went, you're doing good, buddy. You're doing good. He was great. But yeah, I didn't have a clear idea until I made a commitment when I was 28. And I've told this story 100 times, but like my brother came up to me one day and said, "You want to make some extra money?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Mark Texier is working on Ghost Rider. He needs to get an issue done over the weekend." So I think it was a Friday night. We went up to the Marvel bullpen. Nobody else was around. It was like at 5:01, everybody cut out. I mean, maybe there was some sort of event going on. Who knows? But Mark Texier, my brother, me, Ken Branch was another guy. We're working on Ghost Rider pages and throwing them around, because Ken was inking backgrounds. I was just filling in blacks. Mark was penciling and inking. Jimmy was inking figures. I'm pretty sure we got like half an issue done that night in between all of us. And he had to turn in a full book like by Monday, probably first thing Monday. But yeah, after 10 minutes of doing that inside the Marvel offices, I made a commitment to myself and decided, yes, I want to do this for a living. I was apprehensive previously because art was so precious to me, but I decided, yeah, this is something I could do. I can enjoy myself and I can make a living somehow. So it worked out. Do you ever miss New York, and how do you like Virginia? I'm in Kentucky, not too far from Virginia. Yes, I mean I wanted to go to New York this year. It wasn't in the cards. I wasn't going to have a table, but I wanted to go to the New York Comic Con. And how you have a lot of friends that I have a lot of friends that really I only talk to them when I see them, and that's a lot of my New York friends. Man, because I I used to live on the sort of the outskirts of Brooklyn, which is like near enough to Coney Island. So the far end of Brooklyn from Manhattan. So, you know, and I lived out there for years and years and years, and people barely visited me out there, which in the end that was fine. I had my Brooklyn friends and friends in the neighborhood and whatnot. But like there's a lot of New York friends I want to reconnect with. It's definitely a batch of them that I haven't spoken to since I left New York. Not because anything went bad, but because it's like if they don't see you in front of their face, they don't talk to you. But it's like I've talked to a lot of them, chatted online, or called, or whatever, or seen at other conventions. Like I've done a few in Kentucky. I've been to a few in Virginia, as a matter of fact, where I've reconnected with a bunch of people that I've known from New York. Yeah, it would be nice to get out there. Maybe it's next year, maybe it's the year after. I'm also planning some trips outside of the U.S. Because of the projects I'm working on. I definitely want to go to London, and I definitely want to go to Japan. So that might be a year or two down the line, or it might be, we'll see. It's not urgent. But it's been a while since I did conventions on a regular. I was never a big convention guy. I mean, I used to go all the time because, frankly, it was just a train ride away from going to the New York Comic Con. And it's not like that out here. The ones I've been to, they're okay. I think the biggest one is in Louisville, which is it's about an hour away by car. But I don't drive, so and my friends no longer with me, with anyone. Lisa's been to a number of ones that I've been to, and she liked them. She wasn't necessarily a comic person, but she supported me in my insanity. She had her own sense of insanity. But comic people are weird to the outside. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get that level of support again in my life. I wouldn't say I'm seeing somebody, but this is an old relationship. Old friend I've had that we're talking. See if it goes anywhere. But what I miss most is I'm a walker. My first real job, I was a messenger in Manhattan. And even just for fun, I would walk around Manhattan for hours. I could do that here, but it's like boring in comparison. New York had all the people, all the places, all the things. You know, nothing else compares to that. I love walking around Manhattan, especially like, you know, back when there were multiple comic stores. I would walk uptown and see a bunch of friends and hang out in the comic store, then go for coffee or go grab a meal with them, and then walk downtown and see another group of friends. And, you know, it's like, I think in town specifically, I've been recognized once as a comic person, but only because they saw me previously in a coffee shop looking over some artwork. Not that they knew me from, you know, whatever I worked on. How it goes. You know, I'm not necessarily in it for fame. I'll I'll take it. Uh, but you know, I'm trying to make a good living out of it. And, yeah, I've had successful years, and I had not successful years, and you know, because of Lisa passing away, I took a few more months off initially, and then after 2 or 3 months after that, I was in Florida for 3 months with my family. Um, all all my work screeched to a halt. I wasn't getting new work, so business essentially went to zero, and it's taken me this long because Lisa passed August 22. It was a good 6 month period. I really wasn't working. And then it took me about 6 months to go from zero to getting steady work again. And right now I have way too much work, way too many projects. You know, the focus is still, I got to make enough money to finance retro and also enough breathing room to work on teaching myself coloring. Like, I still have so much planned that I'll get to. But things are much better, for sure. 100%. Oh, you're here. I thought you were outside. My cat just appeared. I guess he was sleeping inside. Uh, but anyways, I think what I'm going to do is stop it here. If you haven't liked or shared or subscribed, do all of that in the Jazzy Jazz. I think I'm definitely going to get this page done. I got some other work to do, call to make, busy. But thank you all for coming around and hanging out and chatting and just being the damn fine people you are. Watch all my previous live streams at any time, of course, on my channel. Yeah, we'll see what we get up to next time. Yeah, I stream random hours, so I don't expect anybody to keep my schedule. But, if you hit the notification bell, you'll know when it's happening. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Keep making art, keep making comics, and keep making coloring books. See you again next time.